Welcome back to the continuing lecture series in uh, investment analysis. This is Dr. Jeff Hong, and we are in this ninth video, I believe, in this topic of bond price and bond yield. And the topic for today, or topic for this video, is the strips. Okay, now strips sounds, very like a striking blow. It sounds like a striking blow, but it's an acronym, and it stands for basically separate trading of registered interest and principal of securities. That stands for strips. Now, what it means is you are creating a okay, I'm sorry, you are creating a separate bond from the interest of the bond. Huh? You might wonder, interest on the bond is can be a new bond. The idea is this: you're creating a zero coupon bond from coupon-bearing notes or bonds. So what does that mean? Suppose you have 10 bonds, 10 coupon-paying bonds, coupon bonds, right? So 10 so the total value, total par value will be $10,000, right? Total par value will be $10,000. So if the coupon rate is 10%, right? What does that mean? Annually, the total coupon interest paid from this, 10 bonds will be $1,000, right? I'm just, using 10%, just, just for the sake of example, right? Suppose, so if you have these 10 bonds, 10 coupon-paying bonds in total of face value or par value of $10,000, right? And if the coupon rate is 10%, it's gonna, at the end of year one, it will pay the coupon interest of $1,000. Okay. Now then, the logic is, you request, right? You request the treasury, and this is usually done. This is mainly done by the treasury, right? Treasury Treasury Department. So it's the case of treasury bond. So now think about it. Creating, you request the treasury to, instead of paying you $1,000 as coupon payment, right? um, uh, just give me $1,000 zero coupon bond instead, right? So think about it. Instead of waiting 1 year and receive $1,000, you receive a bond that matures in 1 year, $1,000 zero coupon bond that matures in 1 year. Make sense? Of course, you're going to receive, if this is a 10-year note, you will receive 10 of them. 10, zero coupon bond, one maturing at the end of year one, the second one maturing at the end of year two, the third one and maturing at the end of year three, and so on. So there will be 10 bonds, zero coupon bonds with face value or maturity value of $1,000. Makes sense because it is coupon rate is 10%. And now think about it. These bonds are worth something at this point. For example, because one if you're at time zero, right? If you're at time zero, there must be a present value, right? Must be a present value of this $1,000 at time zero. Let me do this. Drawing. Please, understand that this is not writing. This is drawing with the mouse. So it's really difficult to draw it really correctly. So there must be. So then, what did I do? I will have to put. Okay. It doesn't really matter, but there should be a consistency and convention, right? So in other words, there must be a. I could have done. God. Okay, the present value. Right? Present value of this 1K at time zero, but value means already at time zero. So what I'm trying to do is actually, what I'm trying to say is, please bear with me. This is not easy. Do you understand what I'm? So there is 1K, right? But there's this 1K is at time one. Okay, just like that. There will be present value of this 1K at time n. Remember, in other words, you have 10 zero Q bonds maturing at the end of year one, maturing at the end of year two, year 3, year 4, all the way up to year 10. So then these are zero coupon bonds. So there must be a present value of these zero coupon bonds. Make sense? Isn't this a very innovative idea? I mean, if you're receiving the coupon interest only in dollars, in cash, then you'll have to wait 1 year, and then you'll receive, right, $1,000. And you wait 2 years, you receive another $1,000. But then these $1,000 cannot be, traded ahead of their maturities. But if you receive zero coupon bonds maturing in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, then they can be already traded in the market, right? So it increases the liquidity of the future cash flow already today. So this is the idea behind the strips. And strips is also called, then there is a, so suppose you are selling, if you sell this zero coupon bond strips, then there is a tax implication, right? If you don't sell anything, then there is no tax implication, but so there's a tax imputation of the terminal period OID over time. What is OID? OID stands for original independent original issue discount, right? OID stands for original issue discount. Built-in, so there will be a tax imputation, right? Based on the built-in price appreciation on OID. What does that mean? Let's take a look at this graph. So this is a 30-year, suppose you have a 30-year bond, right? And this 30-year bond, so you have 10 of them. If you have 10 of them, right, then of course, oops, what happened? If you have 10 of them, then for 30 years, if coupon rate is 10%, right, there will be a 30 bond, 30 zero coupon bonds of $1,000 face value. Now, suppose what is the present value of this $1,000 that you're going to receive in 30 years? The present value discounted 30 years back, today's present value is 57.31. So that means, if you have these 30 independent original issue, zero coupon bonds, and then they can be traded already today. Look at this. I mean, that $1,000 zero coupon bond that you are going to receive 30 years later, its price today is 57.31. But the one that you're going to receive 1 year from now, right? The one that you're going to receive, this zero coupon bond that matures 1 year from now, it will be traded exactly at $900 today. Makes sense? Because 1,000 over 1.1 raised to 1. But 30-year one. So think about it. And the one that that you're going to receive 29 years later, right? The second from the last one. Today's, value would be uh, 63, right? Or another way of looking at it is if you that last coupon, right, that you're going to receive 30 years from now, let's say you didn't sell it today, but 1 year later, its value will be 63.04. In other words, yeah, because you have 29 years left, discounted 29 years back, then, right? So these are the present values of, right? Present values of that zero coupon bond, right? Present value, and then also this is present value, right? But with 29 years left, right? So the same, if you didn't sell it, the same last coupon that you're going to receive, if you didn't sell it this year, you held it next year, it will be 63.04, right? So the difference is considered capital gain, right? I mean, if you sell it, but then this is when discount rate is 10%, right? But suppose if the discount rate goes down to 9.9%, right? Let's say this goes down to in the second year, right? And what does that imply? What can you tell? What can you expect? This will go up if it is not 10%, but in the second year, if the market interest rate goes down to 0.99%, I mean 9.9% or 0.099, then if that's the case, if you raise it to then if you discount it by 1.099 raised to 29, then it will become 64. 64.72. Okay. So then there's additional, think about it. The difference is only $1 something, right? Something like $1.68. That $1.68 will be then the total capital gain will be considered. Oops. Right. So it will be so then if you even if you don't sell, this is an interesting thing. Even if you don't sell, um, uh, uh, this much, this much is considered, right? Uh, Imputed capital gains. I mean, if you sell, the capital gain will be 573 plus $1.68, and a total will be your capital gains if you sell, right? But if you don't sell, still this much will be the bond is. I'm sorry. If the bond is sold, right? If the bond is sold, what I'm trying to say is, if the bond is sold, this much will be $1.68 will be treated capital gains income and taxed at capital gains tax rate. So, so what I'm trying, this was wrong. I'm sorry. Let me do this. It's getting. I'm gonna have to. Oh, this is not. So I'll have to use eraser. If you so this $1.68 will be if you sell $1.68 is taxed at capital gains tax rate, and even if you don't sell, right? And this is the interesting thing. This much, the difference between the first year. The first year present value and the second year present value of the 30th year OID, right, is considered interest income. So IRS imputes although you didn't didn't sell, still this much is considered interest income, right? Imputed. In other words, that means virtually, right? So if you sell, then you will pay a tax on the interest income and capital gains. Now, the interesting is, you might wonder, where did all this, just suddenly appear? Where did it just pop out, out of blue? Actually, there was a little disruption, in the video. So I had to, during the disruption in the video, I, wrote all this in there because it takes a lot of time to write these things. It's really difficult. So interesting thing is, capital gains tax and tax on the investment income, right? Interest is, capital gains and dividends and interest are all called, investment income, right? Because and they are taxed basically by the same principle. Interesting thing is, Warren Buffett once said, you probably know this, and I also said this in the Finance 100 class. I said it over and over. Um, Warren Buffett. This is an infamous, quote from Warren Buffett. He said his secretary is paying more taxes than he does. And you might wonder, what? How can his secretary? Uh, I mean, isn't Warren Buffett worth almost, $100 billion? Um, he can't possibly, in reality, he can't possibly pay less taxes than his secretary. But, it was just a metaphor, right? It's a figurative speech. What he meant was that his secretary pays at a higher tax rate than he does. Why? His secretary's income is Warren Buffett's secretary maybe making $150,000 a year, six-figure salary, annual salary. But his secretary's annual salary is all earned income or labor income. I don't want to go over the tax brackets all over again, but earned income goes through several tax brackets, like 6 brackets or 7 brackets. So if your gross income is about 150K, then your taxable income may be about 120K or something like that. But the taxable incomes go through every tax bracket. So there is something called marginal tax rate. Most people fall in 25% marginal tax rate. I mean, if your income is much higher, you would fall into even 32 or 33% marginal tax bracket. But it's like this. So most people, with earned income, the total tax liability is the weighted average of every tax bracket and the portion of income that belongs to each tax bracket, right? It's weighted average. So average tax rate would be even if your top tax rate is 33%, average tax rate would be lower than that, something like 25, 26, 27. The marginal tax rate is what you pay if you're making one more dollar, right? So let's say your top tax I don't. Once again, it's going to take a lot of time, so I'm going to go into this at this time. But the point is, on average, you pay less than your top tax rate. Okay, the average tax rate is less than your top tax rate, but still, most people would fall. Average tax rate for most people would be somewhere, in 20 something, and the marginal tax rate would be, for most people, greater than 25%. If your marginal tax rate on your earned income is less than 25%, then you pay 0% on your capital gains or interest income or dividends, right? So in general, investment income, if your marginal tax rate on your earned income is less than 25%, then you pay 0%. But most people, I said, would fall in greater than 25% marginal tax rate on their earned income. So if you're above 25% marginal tax rate, you pay 15% on the capital gains and interest and dividends, right? Dividend income or interest income. So that's what Warren Buffett meant. In terms of tax rate, he's paying at a lower rate than his secretary, right? Because Think about it. All these wealthy people, right? Top 1%. And Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, uh, you know, Bill Gates, uh, um, and Amazon, uh, Doc, Elon Musk. You know, first of all, Jeff Bezos is now worth about $200 billion. And where do you where and Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they are all worth about $100 billion. So think about it. Where do you think their income is coming from? Do you think their income is like earned income? Huh? Labor income? Earned income is do you think they earn this through labor? Right? No, they're wealthy people. They're top 0.1%. Their top 0.1%, their income is mainly investment income. So Warren Buffett's, he may have nominal salary, right? Jeff Bezos, he may have nominal salary. I mean, it's very significant amount. He would be making, at least, like $1 million a year in salary. But most of 99% of his income is investment income. Salary is, just probably 1% of his annual income, right? Um, but think about it. They're paying at 15%, and Jeff Bezos, probably is not. And Amazon.com has paid zero, in corporate income tax, maybe zero. That's corporate income tax. Jeff Bezos, think about it. Uh, he may be paying some, income tax, but less than 50, at best 15%. At least Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are conscionable people. They are because they both agree that they must pay. They should pay more taxes. They admit they are paying too disproportionately lower at lower rate than average people, than the 99% of the population. They are paying, so they are willing to pay more taxes. So they are conscionable people. But there are others. They are, Koch brothers, Koch industry, and then Walton family of Walmart, and Elon Musk, all other, these are the only two people, conscionable wealthy people, Warren Buffett and um, Bill Gates. But I've never heard other wealthy top 0.1% people saying that they should pay more taxes. They are all trying to evade taxes. They want to as little taxes as possible, as minimal taxes as possible. Especially, that's what the Republicans are for. They are working for these, top 1% wealthy people. Donald Trump, he wants to minimize, he doesn't want to pay any taxes. If he has been honestly paying taxes, why is he getting embarrassed? Why doesn't he, disclosing his tax return? There has been a lot of, shady, dirty, shady deals, tax evasions. That's why he has. Why would he be embarrassed? Mick Mulvaney, his henchman, and EPA. I mean, he put all these, secretaries. Education secretary is against public education. Postmaster General is against, U.S. Postal Service, right? Being a public, nonprofit. EPA, Mick Mulvaney, EPA head, is against, environmental protection. What kind of, cabinet is this? Why? Why? Because Republicans and Donald Trump, they are all about small government. And what is small government? no public spending, right? But without public spending, there is no public education, there is no military, there is no, right, a police, there is no public, veterans, affairs, there's no, uh, and by slashing all these budgets for public, non-profit public, services, um, then what does that mean? They are saving taxes for these, top 1% wealthy people. And wealthy people, this top 1% wealthy people, don't want to pay any taxes. And for them not, for not to pay any taxes, then they must cut all these, public spending budgets, federal government budgets. And that's what exactly Donald Trump and his cabinet has been doing all these years. There is no environmental protection. EPA is, they cut the budget for EPA. All those people in the EPA that has been, that have been researching all these, environmental protection issues are all, fired. And the Environmental Protection Agency is now just a rubber stamp, approving, all these, environmentally hazardous projects, cracking and fracking and dig, Arctic, oil drilling and all these things. This is a disaster for this country. Donald Trump himself is the cancer and the disaster for this country. I'm not a political person, but I know one thing. Big government is not a bad thing, especially in the during the recession when the economy is bad. Big government is, and nobody can deny it. I mean, even Donald Trump is, what's he doing? He wants to gain popularity. He wants to win votes. So all these, stimulus money, right? He's writing out. He's not the one paying, $1,400 stimulus check. It's the Congress that approves it, right? But all this, the economy is being, barely buoyed by this stimulus checks, and unemployment benefits, which is basically a big government, right? And of course, they cannot deny that during this, pandemic. But during a boom, small government makes sense, right? During an economic boom, the economy, private sector is all doing, taking care of itself, and no need for government handouts. But during the recession, government handout is needed. That's big government. I mean, for the government to pay out all this, it requires big budget. But how to finance that big budget? There is a difference. Taxing more, as the Democrats way. Taxing, if you tax just 1% more from this wealthy, top 1% wealthy, we can do more than enough. But Republicans and Donald Trump administration, what they are doing is not increasing taxes on the wealthy. They are giving a $700 billion or $1.7 trillion tax break to payout to tax break to this wealthy people, top 1%, and then instead, then where does that stimulus paycheck come from? Stimulus check come from borrowing. Government, U.S. government, borrowing. In other words, federal debt is, national debt is going up, right? So anyway, we are slightly, we have digressed a little. So but time is up. So let me stop the video and see you in the next video. Stop recording.